So hello everyone. This is giving advice. What we are going to do is we are going to practice, over modals and the different, what I call an advice thermometer, and we'll look at what is weak, neutral, and strong. We'll go over some examples of modems. We'll talk about vocabulary, and then we will practice, practice, practice. So I hope to see you in class very soon, because we will practice, practice. So here is, I'm going to stop this and talk to the camera now, and I look forward to seeing whoever comes to class, and we should have a great time. So I know this hour in the Americas is very late, and it's the middle of the day in other parts. It's morning in Europe, and then in Asia it's in the middle of the day. So yeah, people. I think this is an hour that a lot of people don't come, but I'm hoping to see people as you can. So we will practice. Hello, how are you doing, Vincenzo? Hi, Martin. Martin, where are you from?
Hi, teacher. Good morning.
Morning.
I'm from Italy.
Italy, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Northeast.
Okay, and Vincenzo is also from Italy.
Yeah.
Yeah. My last class was Saudi Arabians. Okay, and then we've got Igor from Russia, from Siberia. Awesome. Let's see who else is coming. Kind of some people are looking on. So Martin, what part of Italy are you from?
Currently, I'm living in Northeast, a couple of hour drive from Venice. The Northeast in the Trentino Alto Adige.
Okay.
Is named the region.
Is it true that in Venice you can't actually drive a car in the city center?
No, you can't. No. No, it's just for pedestrian.
And so it is true. Okay.
Yeah, it's true. Absolutely.
Okay, because I really want to go to Venice. Then I want to see what it's like to not have cars around.
At least one time in the life is a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah. So. Yeah. And Silver, is your audio working? Can you speak? Silver, can you speak? Okay. All right. All right, well, today what we're going to do is actually practice giving advice. We're going to start out by going over some of the rules of the modals of advice, and then we will go to look at a little bit more more detailed, and then we'll practice. So. Okay, does everybody see the screen?
I can see your screen.
Excellent. All right, so how often do you guys give advice on a daily basis? Igor?
Well, that depends. Depends on many factors, like if somebody asks for advice. But I'm a kind of person who doesn't like giving advices. Giving advice to persons that don't request it.
Okay, so you are not a person that you do not like what we say unsolicited advice. So you do not like to give unsolicited advice.
On the contrary, if a person means a great deal to me, then I might think about giving advice to them, even if they don't ask for it.
Mm-hmm. And it really depends on the relationship. But as a general rule of thumb, you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you try not to. How about you, Martin? Do you give advice very often?
Um, let's see. Maybe the most common occasion when I give advice in a working environment, especially when I got people under my control, like apprenticeships.
Mm-hmm.
When I got the young people, the young worker in the first experience or early age experience work under my control.
Mm-hmm.
That is the occasion when I give advice usually.
Mm-hmm. So when your work warrants it, when your work is requiring that you give advice.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Excellent. Right, Silver, can you speak? You're muted right now. Can you unmute and can you speak? Okay. Silver was in my last class also and didn't speak then, so we'll just let that be okay. And Vincenzo, I muted you because of the cell phone. So
yes, yes, there was my dog that was barking.
uh,
My leading lady was coming. Yes.
yeah, okay, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
My dog doesn't bark when I'm teaching normally, but what he'll do is he'll come and bring his squeaky toy and he'll start squeaking, squeak, 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 squeak.
Yes. No, my dog always barks when someone is ringing the bell, rings the bell.
The bell, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
bell. Yes.
For Alpo, well, of course that's one thing, but another thing that he will do is he will bark when the telephone rings. And so I have to keep my phone next to me at all times so that he doesn't, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, but anyway, so how about you? How often do you give advice?
Well, I generally don't prefer to give advice, but only if I am requested to give the advice.
Okay.
And yes, it depends from the people. Sometimes it's very difficult to give the advice
Advice?
advice to another people because yes, you can recognize the people if it is if it is a people that can get an advice or not. No.
Yeah.
Sometimes they are very hostile. How can I say? To have the style, they don't like. Some people doesn't like or does not done don't like to get an advice.
Yeah.
So I think that you can understand, or you can know how people can get an advice or not. No, it depends from the people. Yes.
So yeah, so it depends on the people. So
Yes.
one thing I'm doing today is I'm writing any feedback for grammar on the board on the chat. So if you guys see that, one thing for you, Vincenzo, this is grammar that I think would benefit everybody.
Yeah.
But usually you would say it is difficult to give advice to either other people or another person. So what you'd said was another people, but it's other people or another person. So another is usually singular and other would be plural.
Mm.
So I hope that's helpful for everybody. Okay, so let's go ahead and start this exercise. We have I made this up years ago where there's an advice thermometer. And on this thermometer you have weak, neutral, and strong. So if let's start with strong. If something is life or death, you would use had or must. If it's life or death, you had better. I think it should be had better there. I'm sorry. It's not had, it's had better. Apologize for that. So you had better, or you must is life or death. Neutral is should or ought to. You should learn English. It will help you in your job. You ought to learn computer skills because it's helpful in your job. And then weak is might or could. This is something like, well, an English conversation class could be helpful for your job. It might be good for you to take keyboarding. So that's kind of a weaker. It's kind of the issue doesn't matter as much. Where had, better, and must is more of a life or death situation, especially must. To give you guys an example, when my second year in Finland, we had a new employee, and she was over all of the teachers, and she sent out rules. And some of the new teachers to Finland were very upset with her, and when they read this, and the reason was because the staff member had used must through the entire paper, to the entire list, and if she would have used should or ought to, it would have softened the message, and none of the native speakers would have been upset about it. So she learned that she should always try to use the neutral modals, and then she did not have any problems after that. So that's a rule of thumb. If you're not sure, and if it's not life or death, don't use these two. Use should or ought to. So, okay, let's go on.
Can you make should weak, like saying maybe you should?
Yes, by adding maybe, absolutely. Maybe you should. That does definitely makes it a little bit weaker. It still doesn't make it as weak as might and could, but then it would probably be maybe in this area right here.
I see. In between.
Yep, exactly. Hello, Ismail. How are you today?
I am doing well, thank you.
Well, it's been what, 5 or 6 hours? So maybe a little bit longer. So okay, I love it when you guys come to more than one class. This is wonderful. Okay, so we've got some examples here. Why don't we have each one of you read one sentence? Igor, could you read the first one?
You might be able to ask for help from your colleague.
Perfectly good. The way, just to let you know, what you just said, colleague. That's actually a British English pronunciation, very good pronunciation. But for just an FYI, in American English, we actually stress the first part. We say colleague.
Colleague.
Yeah, in American English. But the way you said it, I believe you used a British pronunciation. Okay, Martin, could you read the second one?
You could ask your colleague for help.
Okay, perfect. Again, that was British pronunciation. Vincenzo?
I think you should ask your colleague for help.
Perfect. Okay. And Ismail, could you read the next one?
You ought to ask your colleague for help.
Perfect. Okay. And Silver, is your audio working? Okay. So we'll skip Silver and we'll go back to Igor for the next one.
You had better ask your colleague for help.
Yes. You had better ask your colleague for help. Okay. And then Martin.
You must ask your colleague for help, or you will probably get fired.
Yeah, so when you say you must ask your colleague for help, it's a very, very important thing. So, okay, let's go to the next one. What is the difference between these words, advice and advise?
One is a noun, the other is a verb.
Okay, so how would you use it, Igor?
Well, I would like to advise you to do something.
Okay. And
I would like to give you advice.
Okay, so advice, or perfect. I would like to advise you, which would be this one, and I would like to give you advice. Okay, now humor me because I'm American. In American English, do you guys know what the difference? Anything? In American English, we do not use this spelling. So we pretty much use this spelling only for both. So that's just an American thing. So okay, let's go on. Now it's time to practice, practice, practice. And we have plenty of time to practice and also discuss these issues as well. So one person can give the advice, and then everybody else can say, oh, I agree with him, or how about this, or how about that. Okay, so let's start with, so what would you advise these people, which is in British English. Let's start with Vincent. How do I say it? Vincenzo?
Vincenzo.
Vincenzo.
Vincenzo. Sì.
Vincenzo. Okay.
Sì, esatto.
Okay, could you go ahead and read this first one,
yes,
and then ask one of your colleagues what he should do?
Yes.
Okay.
Allora, Alfredo has lost some of his luggage. In that piece of luggage was a memory stick with PowerPoint slides for an important presentation. What should he do?
Okay,
Yeah.
so ask somebody else.
Okay, ask to Igor. Igor.
Igor, so what do you think he should do?
First of all,
what should you do if you are in this situation?
Perfect.
If I am in this situation.
Where? In this, you are?
I am.
You are?
Well, I would never.
Really? Really?
Because I learned the hard way that you need to keep backups of all your files, especially these important.
Mm-hmm. It's okay. So keep it in the cloud or something like that. Is that what you mean?
Well, in this case, you could store these documents both on his memory stick and on his laptop, or in a cloud service, or have another external device to keep his files on it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
yeah.
It's always very important to stock, not to have another memory stick in order to save data.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's funny because when I wrote this material, it was probably about 8 or 10 years ago. Memory sticks were common, but a cloud service was not common. So
at the end, sometimes I think that a piece of paper could be better than this all.
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes.
Well, you can even set up your own kind of cloud service. Like if you have an internet, you can share your main computer with your laptop, for example. There is no problem with that. It is actually more secure than cloud services, especially with this kind of files of this importance, like presentation.
I don't understand. What is more secure than cloud?
Is it memory stick?
What did you say? What is more secure than to store something in a cloud?
Well, if you have your own cloud, let's say, let's name it this way. Like you have a personal computer, like you have two computers. You share the first computer with another computer, and you basically can access your shared computer from any point in the world.
I understand. Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. That as opposed to would you consider a cloud service very secure?
Well, I don't know. The cloud services, a lot of people know about them, and sometimes, there may be some kind of license agreement there, and they might delete your file because they violate this agreement, or because of this, because a lot of people know about this service, there might be some kind of a hacker attack on them, and it also maybe something really bad for your files. But if it's your own private cloud service, not a lot of people know about it, and in this case, I think it's better.
Okay, that makes sense. All right. Let's. So thank you very much, Vincenzo and Igor. Igor, could you read the next square and then ask somebody else in the class what they would advise a Jeho to do?
Yes, just one question.
Yes.
How do I pronounce this name?
A Jeho.
Jeho.
Yeah, that's a Korean name actually.
I see. Okay. Jeho is traveling to the USA for the first time. He's nervous about going through customs and worried that he won't be able to understand the customs officials. What would you advise Jeho?
Okay. And so we've got Ismail or Ahmed, and then Martin left for some reason. Okay. Maybe his internet went out.
I need to pick a person to ask this question. Okay. I would like to hear from Ahmed.
Okay, Ahmed.
Yeah.
So what would...
So Jeho is traveling to the USA, but is afraid that because of his lack of knowledge of English, it might be difficult for him to understand the officials at the airport, at the customs. So what would you advise Jeho in this case?
Yeah. The first one, maybe the presentation he sent it to himself by the email.
Maybe. No.
It's not the first one. It's the right square, the square on the right.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I advise him to don't take food like meat or chicken, because I think it is fun to take it with you.
Okay, anything else?
I didn't understand what he said.
He said he would advise them not to take anything like meat or chicken or fruit that would cause the customs officials to stop. Did you understand me?
No.
Okay.
Could you repeat each other? I didn't understand. What is the device? His advice?
His advice. Ahmed, could you try to repeat that?
Yeah, excuse me.
Yes, sure. Maybe when you are traveling to other country, maybe some people take chicken or take meat with them, and I think it is not allowed to go to United States with meat and chicken. So maybe just herbs. You take just herbs, and you cannot take, I think, meat or chicken or fish or food like this.
So,
I don't understand what is related meat with this problem.
Well, he's saying that be careful. Be careful. I'm writing it down. Be careful what you take to another country. Because you might get stopped at customs.
Yes, but it's the problem of understanding.
Yeah.
Not the problem of what you are going to bring. It's different, no, or not?
Yeah, it's a little bit different, but I can see the logic that he was saying.
This person is nervous about not to be understood, not being understood. Yes, not about what he was going to carry.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's nervous about being able to understand.
About understanding, yes.
Yeah. So what would you advise Jeho Vincenzo?
It's a very difficult teacher because, yes, I don't know how it is his level of pronunciation of understanding. So I think that could say to the official, or yes, could say to the official to speak slowly, in order that he can comprehend and understand what he is saying. Only this is possible, or in another way it could be possible to be helped by another people to the that's going to be by him in order to translate what the official is saying.
Yeah. Okay. So it's you're saying, and so Ismail or Ahmed basically said, just be careful what you take. And you're saying, since he's nervous about understanding, to explain to him that he can ask the customs officials to slow down.
To speak slowly, yes, in order he can understood what he's saying, that the official is saying, yes.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he needs another people in order to translate what the official is saying.
Yeah. It's interesting. I do know that a lot of the customs officials in the United States, not all of them, but many of them are foreign nationals, or they're immigrants. So they're people who actually are from other countries who speak several languages.
Yes, that's it. That could be in this way. Yes, if the official can speak another language, he perhaps could speak the same language of the people who is in front of him.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't work all the time, but I think for example, if somebody immigrated to the U.S. and they got a certain proficiency of English, and they were bilingual, then many companies, especially customs, would take those people just because of being bilingual.
Yes. So it's possible to find someone to speak Italian in that way, in that place.
Maybe I don't know about Italian. I know Spanish definitely.
Spanish, okay.
Yes, especially in especially in the western part of the United States, because we have
western.
Yeah, because we're north of Mexico, so we have a lot of immigrants come up. So
from Mexico, yeah.
There's a lot of jobs actually in my area advertised in the newspaper for people who are bilingual, Spanish
Perhaps
and English.
Spanish is requested, no?
Yes.
In this place, it's more requested that the people can speak Spanish also, no?
Yeah. Exactly. And
I just wish I'd been bilingual.
Oh yeah. Oh, you just looked at it?
I just wish I had been bilingual.
Oh, you wish you were? Well, you're on your way. That's for sure. So, you're very, very close. So,
okay.
Right, let's go on to another one. Okay, and Ahmed, could you read this one right here, and then ask Ismail or Vincenzo or Igor. This one right here.
You see, just left that he needs to travel to Saudi Arabia for an important negotiation tomorrow. He isn't sure of protocols in Saudi Arabia.
It should have been KSA, I'm sorry.
What would you advise he to prepare with such short notice?
Okay, so who would you ask?
It's very difficult.
Actually, Ahmed, since you are from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, why don't you answer this question?
Yeah, maybe I told him don't to take alcohol.
Don't what?
Don't
Take
Say,
alcohol.
get
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that again. Say it again.
Alcohol.
goal.
Alcohol.
Cover?
Yes.
Could you write
What?
that down?
It's goal.
Alcohol.
Oh, don't take alcohol.
Yeah, alcohol.
Alcohol, okay.
But it isn't related with alcohol.
Yeah, so don't take alcohol with you. Don't buy it at custom or don't buy it at duty-free shops. Okay. And
Yes.
anything else?
May I ask a grammatical question after all of the students have expressed their opinion?
Okay.
Not that to
Okay.
be more loose, no. No.
Okay, so besides don't take alcohol, Ahmed, is there any other pieces of advice that they should follow?
Yeah, if she is a woman, so she should maybe wearing something like abaya.
Oh, so she should be completely covered.
Nowadays, it is more lenient than previous. Maybe she could open her face and also have a hair.
Mm-hmm.
And but just put something for her body like an abaya. Just
Okay. So no short skirts. No skirts.
no need for scarf. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And like for example,
it depends on the city. If she go to Riyadh, maybe she need a scarf. But if she go to Jeddah, she don't really need a scarf.
Okay. So it just depends on where she's going. A question. Say for example, I have some pantsuits where I have it's like a short sleeve blouse.
Short pants. No,
and no, not and long trousers, trousers that match. Would I be able to wear something like that, or would I need to have a long sleeve shirt, long sleeve blouse? As a woman, Ahmed, could I wear short sleeve, or do I need to have long sleeve?
Sleeve? What is sleeve?
Sleeve is let me show you.
Yes.
I'm going to turn. I'm going to stop the video. I'm going to turn on my video. Right here. This is sleeve right here. So right now I'm wearing a short sleeve shirt.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's a sleeve. Would I be allowed to wear a short sleeve shirt or short sleeve blouse in Saudi Arabia, or would I need to wear long sleeve?
Yeah, if the meeting is in the women bar, so it is building for just women. You can wear anything you want.
Okay, but if it's both genders are around, then you can't.
Yeah, it should be long sleeve.
Shorts are allowed.
In the woman section?
The woman, yes. Is it possible to put on shorts or not? For women.
What do you mean by shirt?
Shorts, short pants.
Short pants, shorts. When they put some trousers that is no long, that is not long, but only they are long till the sleeve, not sleeve, what is it? Until the I don't remember the leg, no, the upper leg. No.
Like this. These are very short. It's like this. Let's say long shorts. These are short pants right here. Let's see.
They tolerate this or not? No.
No, like this, no.
No. Okay. How about men? Can men wear shorts?
Like this? No.
Men?
Also men, no, it's not possible.
Maybe like this, yes. Maybe like this, yes.
Like the longer shorts? But probably not
Yes.
like this, but like this, longer. Okay, but
Yeah,
women
like this,
never.
yeah.
Yeah.
Women
Okay.
also, with women, they wear something like this.
So they have to they have to be they have
Is
to
it
be
possible? Yes, it must to wear this way.
Yeah, women wear anything with women.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, but these are too short, I think, even for me. So I would never let my daughters wear a dress like that. They'd have to be. I don't know. I can't even find. Let's move this image away. So,
Okay.
So any other information that we need to know, Ahmed?
Yeah, that's it. Yes, the alcohol is not allowed, and if you want women, you should wear something long.
Okay,
that's
so
it.
yeah, so don't have alcohol, and women, be careful what they wear. Okay. Otherwise, it's pretty much the same.
But it's also a problem about the meeting. I think, teacher, the protocol in the meeting, because it's an important negotiation. So he has to behave in a certain way in this negotiation. So this the advice about. I think there are other problems that are not at the airport or something like this, or when you are going along the crowd, something like this, teacher. What we are wearing, but it's a problem about how can he hand the negotiation.
Yeah. So
how does she have to behave? Does she have to behave in this negotiation? That's the problem. Yes.
Yeah.
Perhaps. Yes.
Yeah, that's a good point, Vincenzo. Ahmed, did you understand him?
So what should he behave in the negotiation in order to behave well, to have, what is the protocol in the negotiation for these people?
I see. You mean just in Saudi culture, or
in Saudi
culture?
Yes, in Saudi Arabia culture. There is a way to behave when a person is negotiating or not.
No, it's normal.
No?
It's normal. Normal.
I know, normal, yes. Could be sometimes that there is a kind of way that he has to behave. I don't know, yes, but...
for example...
Yeah. Excuse me, teacher, I interrupt you. Sometimes I heard that at the end of a meal, if you don't make a burp, it's impolite. Is it true? Is it true?
What is that?
I heard that at the end of a meal, if a guest doesn't make a burp, it's impolite. So
make what?
A burp.
Burp? What burp?
Yeah. Burp is a noise from the throat.
Sometimes it happens that you have a burp when you have digested something. So it's not very polite, It's a way to when you are with people at in a meal, how can I say? When you are eating with other people at a table, yes, you can have something that comes from your mouth, but it's not very good for other people. No, it's impolite. Do you understand what I mean?
I think it is like any culture, any
culture. No, I heard that in some cases, I don't know if Saudi Arabia or other people in Arabic. Perhaps,
I've heard that about China, actually.
China, but I don't think so. Okay, let's go on.
Anyway, well, to give an example, And Ismail, can you tell me if this is right in Turkey? One of my students in Finland was doing a negotiation. He used to go to Turkey a lot to negotiate, and he learned that the difference between negotiating in Finland and negotiating in Turkey was relationship. In Finland, you go and you meet your client, and then within 5 minutes you are talking about business. Where in Turkey, they socialize for many hours first before they get to business.
Oh,
Is that true in Turkey, Ismail?
Yeah. Actually, I work in state business. But in Turkey, social relationship and social network is important in business sector. You can solve many problems with social interaction and with friendship, with strong connection, actually.
Yeah, and so to me
it's a not professional way a little, but it is important to solve your problem.
Yeah, and it's the same as in Japan. Japan is the same way where relationships are more important. Where in Finland and the U.S. is also not the relationship is not as important as the transaction. And so when negotiations, if you run into a situation where there's a group of people that find relationships important and another group of people that find the transactions important, it's important for them to understand that. And so I think that's what Vincenzo was talking about, is that there are some protocols that are different when it comes to negotiations, because if my former student would have gone in and treated his Turkish client like he does his Finnish client, he would not have been able to do business with them.
I understand. Yes. So there is a way for some people.
There are many cultural and differentiation between countries.
Yeah, it's very fascinating.
Yes, it's very interesting.
Yeah, and I remember my student telling me that he used to go to Turkey every month at least, and one time he took a colleague with him, and his colleague, after 15 minutes, wanted to get down to business, and he said he hit him. He actually hit him on the side and told him to be quiet. So, because you don't do that in Turkey. Anyway, Ismail, can you read this next square about Sonia or Sonia?
Okay. Sonia has just started a new job. She is frustrated because the men in her office do not take her seriously. She feels like she is stuck in the 1950s. What would you advise her to do?
So we forgot about my grammar question I have.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No
I'm sorry.
So, may I ask it now?
Yeah, and then we'll go on to this. What was your question?
Here in the left square, the last sentence, I've seen this kind of strange structure before, and I know a couple of verbs that use the same thing. What would you advise he do, not he does, to prepare with such short? There is also a thing, recommend, like, I recommend that she go there, not she goes there. And I think request. He requested that the reports be considered, something like that. And I just don't understand the reasoning behind the structures.
Okay, well, what would you advise he do to prepare with such short notice? You ask what would you advise he does? Do is the it's do, does.
And it's a pronoun complement, teacher. That's them, no, them, or he, him. That is him, no? Not he.
He do to prepare with such short
What do you advise him
notice?
Vincenzo, it's actually it's actually all right. It's a right
Yeah,
sentence.
it's correct, but there are other ways you could say it. You're correct. You like, what would you advise him to do?
Yeah, as I said, there are.
What would you suggest? Yeah.
What would you yes.
I know a couple of other verbs of the other verbs that keep the same pattern, but this pattern, for me, it's I can't understand it. I can't wrap my head around it. I don't know the reason about it. It's like all the teaching is like he does, not he do. What is it?
No, it does. No, it does. What would you advise him?
I think him to do.
Him to do.
Him to do. Yeah. I'm sorry you can't get your head around it. I don't know how to explain it for you to be able to get your head around it, though. I think it's because I'm using when I wrote this back in 2007, and at that time because the vocabulary focus was on advice and advise, I've chosen to use advise in all of these. And you can actually have other words, like what would you suggest he do? What would you recommend that he did? That he does? That he does. That sounds wrong. That he did. What would you recommend for him to do? So there's a lot of different ways, but this is grammatically correct. So I don't know how to explain it to you.
I think that it is not correct, teacher, but I think it is better to use a pronoun complement than a pronoun subject.
Oh, okay.
What do you advise him to do in order to prepare himself?
I heard and saw this kind of sentences a lot of times. And it's like, as I said, he requested that the reports be considered, and that's a perfectly fine sentence, I think. And I've heard such things before.
He requested the reports be considered?
Yes.
What should it be? He requested the reports to be considered?
No, just be considered.
Why are you calling about a report in this way, in this example? There is a problem about the protocol in the negotiation. Yeah. Why are you talking about a report?
Oh no, he's just talking about grammar and he sees that sentence a lot too. I think it has to do with style, because I know that with this verb, this is actually how I personally have always written it and always said it.
I advise you, but I advise he. It's impossible, I think. You advise him. No.
Yeah, you can change that to the pronoun too. You can say, what would you advise him to do to prepare with such short notice? You could change that. I just, as far as spoken English, this is actually at least how it says. I say it how it is said in my region.
It would be perhaps a colloquial way of saying. But that
not a colloquial way to say that. It's written in official documents too, like advice he do. It's even in official documents too. That's perfectly correct grammar.
No,
I don't think so. Grammar.
No, it's stylistic. But anyway, let's go on to the next one. So, Ismail.
Yes.
Okay, so can you talk to us about this Sonia who is frustrated? What would you suggest?
Yes,
it's kind of stalking.
Yes. Sorry. Sonia has just started a new job. Actually, she is in difficult situation because in some countries, women are on the second stage when we compare with men. Maybe she started with a job in a country like this, but I could suggest Sonia to carry on in her way because after a while men are going to be accept Sonia if she's going to be successful in doing her job. When she behaves in responsible way at workplace and solve problem and actualize some important thing, I think after a while men accept Sonia and they give her the real importance.
Yeah. So if she perseveres and if she is actually good at her job, the men will come around and the men will start to respect her, right?
Yes, I think the men after a while accept Sonia.
Yeah. Now, what if she's in a country like Finland, for example, or Sweden, where women are usually are pretty much at the same level as men? Should she do something different?
Actually, and then there must be another reason for this, because if this behavior doesn't come from a cultural or social things, then the man doesn't like Sonia. Maybe she have to learn the root reason of this behavior.
Yeah.
Maybe she makes something false, or I don't know. Maybe.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because I think most countries in the world, my country, the U.S., and most countries are women are usually are not are socially not as high in businesses as men, but then there are the few countries that women are this equal. So there are a few, not many, but okay.
Yes,
Let's go.
in my country, generally high position at workplace are generally men. You cannot see a woman in a high ranking business.
In position, yeah. In English, we call that a glass ceiling.
What?
Glass?
A glass ceiling, and that's basically the women get into middle management. They can go as high as they can, and to get into upper management, they cannot get past the glass ceiling.
The glass.
Yes, glass ceiling.
Yeah,
an obstacle.
Exactly, and it's an obstacle. So they can see
other people.
They can see the men above her that she probably trained. And but she can't get past it because it's glass ceiling, and I think that's pretty typical around the world.
Yes.
So.
Excuse me, teacher, but at first sight, I see this sentence like a kind of stalking. I didn't take this sentence in the right way. Didn't I take the sentence in the right way, because she sees take her seriously. Is a kind could be a kind of stalking, because she feel like she's stuck in 1950s, in the year where the women were, how can I say, disturbed with stalking by men.
Oh, okay. No, it really, that isn't really what I meant when I wrote it. So, yeah.
This is seemed to me like this. It's,
Interesting how
no,
you can read it.
it's
Yeah,
only about work,
yeah.
about work. No, yes.
Yeah, completely about work, because in the 1950s, women basically in the office, women mostly served coffee and were secretaries.
Yeah, I guess, yes.
And
Yeah, I mean, in this case also they could be disturbed by men.
yeah.
Yes.
And then there was also a lot more sexual harassment at the time.
Yes.
That there was, yeah. All right. Well, it looks like we're actually out of time. Thank you very much for your attention, and I am going to find out, Igor, about the grammar. I think it's a stylistic situation, and I think I probably split the infinitive. But I don't. It's not wrong, but I'll find out if it's actually normal. My twin sister is an English grammar expert, so I will talk to her about that. So when it comes to those kind of things. So
thank you.
Thank you very much, y'all. All right, and have a wonderful day, or go to bed if it's late at night. I guess that's me, 2 a.m. for me, so I'm on my way to bed. So thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thank you very much. Bye.
You are very kind. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.